Our next speaker is Andy Vick. He's an experienced leader and arts administrator who believes in the power of the creative sector to drive economic development, build community, grow tourism, and enhance the quality of life for everyone. Can I just tell you that statement, while being sewn into this corset, was really difficult. Just breathe. Okay. As the Executive Director of the Cultural Office of the Pikes Peak region, Andy oversees the daily operation and management of a non-profit local arts agency serving a 2-county region with a population of over 700,000 residents. Please welcome Andy.
Even though I grew up in a very arts-friendly home just north of Chicago, I would have never guessed that I would wind up spending the better part of my professional career as an arts administrator. It wasn't until after I graduated college in Philadelphia and met my wife, visual artist Beth Piver, that my life took an artistic turn. Beth has always been creative, and after working in graphic design for several years, she decided to follow her passion and start her own business as a jewelry artist. As Beth Piver Designs grew, I routinely found myself working the booth at craft shows, and eventually I quit my job, and Beth and I began making our living full-time as artists. As our business continued to grow, we needed more studio space. We moved from Washington to an amazing 6,000 square foot loft in a small western Maryland town called Cumberland. Beth decorated the entire space, and our loft received lots of media attention. It was even featured on HGTV's Offbeat America television series. Even our car, nicknamed Smiley, was not immune from Beth's artistic touch. We were living the dream, traveling across the country doing craft shows, selling our artwork, meeting other artists, and enjoying life on our own schedule. Along the way, we became more involved as volunteers in our community's local arts council. After serving on the board for a couple years, I was hired as the executive director of the Allegheny Arts Council. During my tenure, we transformed our small nonprofit organization into a respected and impactful local arts agency. Ultimately, after 10 rewarding years, it was time to move on. In early 2014, I accepted a position as the executive director of the Cultural Office of the Pikes Peak region, and we moved to Colorado Springs. Since then, I've been working hard to position the Cultural Office as a respected advocate and leader for the arts in our community. Like other local arts agencies across the country, the Cultural Office operates within a national hierarchy of arts organizations. Here in Colorado, we work very closely with our state arts agency, Colorado Creative Industries, and I was recently appointed by the governor to serve on their board of directors. The Cultural Office was founded 12 years ago by a group of local citizens who felt that our community needed a local arts agency with paid staff to lead and advocate for the sector. Today, we operate as a nonprofit with a budget of about $500,000, a staff of 4, and 18 board members. The Cultural Office manages a diverse portfolio of programs that are all designed to support the arts and grow cultural audiences. Our flagship program is peakradar.com, the online cultural calendar for the Pikes Peak region. This free community resource is on track to generate over 1.5 million page views this year. Event information from peakradar.com also reaches the community by way of our weekly e-blast, the Peak Radar Picks. This weekly email communication reaches almost 18,000 inboxes with 8 to 10 cultural event suggestions for the coming week. 2 of the weekly event suggestions always come from a special guest curator. The content from peakradar.com is also available in print. Our annual Peak Radar Pages is a free hard copy directory of over 400 local arts and cultural organizations. The 2019 edition is just back from the printer. We also produce an annual gallery guide featuring over 70 area galleries. October has been National Arts and Humanities Month since the mid-1980s, and our community joined the effort 5 years ago with our own local Arts Month celebration. The call to action during Arts Month is to have one new cultural experience with family or friends during the month of October. Measuring the economic impact of local arts and culture is also an important part of our work. Every 5 years, we partner with Americans for the Arts to conduct an Arts and Economic Prosperity Study. Here in the Pikes Peak region, our nonprofit arts and cultural sector generates $153.3 million in annual economic impact. Creative Forces is an exciting new initiative that leverages the power of the arts to help our military service members, veterans, and their families to heal from the trauma of war, including traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder. The Cultural Office was just awarded a $50,000 contract to develop a local demonstration project called Military Arts Connection. The Cultural Office also orchestrates a First Friday shuttle bus service that provides free transportation between the monthly art walks in downtown Colorado Springs, Old Colorado City, and Manitou Springs. The shuttle bus is also part of a new creative corridor branding strategy. Did you know that we have our very own Artomat machine here in the Pikes Peak region? It's located in the old Ivywild School. Artomat machines are retired cigarette vending machines that have been refurbished and converted to vend small works of handmade art, each for only $5. Peak Arts Prize is a community grant-making contest that supports great local art and funds fresh ideas that grow cultural audiences. The video-based application format is open to everyone, and details about the 2019 grant cycle will be available shortly at peakartsprize.org. Our community's 2010-2020 cultural plan is coming to an end soon, and the Cultural Office is partnering with the B. Vredenberg Foundation and a committee of cultural stakeholders to lead the process of creating a new cultural plan for the next decade. I hope you'll agree that every community needs a local arts agency like the Cultural Office to do the big picture work, such as advocating for the creative sector, growing new cultural audiences, creating cross-sector collaborations, and helping to build the kind of cultural ecosystem where the arts can truly thrive. As the leader of the Cultural Office, it's a privilege to work with the many artists, arts organizations, and arts leaders that make this creative community so vibrant. At the top of that list is the Manitou Arts Center and its fearless leader, Natalie Johnson. I applaud everyone here tonight for supporting the MAC, and thank you for listening.